Hello. Oh my. I'm going to just give it a moment to see if anyone is coming on the chat. But welcome for those of you watching this after the live. I just wanted to come on and do a reading, a collective reading, as I've been picking up on many different energies and energy shifts. This week's in particular is for a lot of people a good telltale sign of what it is that we are being asked to let go of, release. We all tend to get caught up in our routines, in our day-to-day, what is known and what is comfortable. And we are being asked to let go of rigidity, patterns, and move beyond these things, move beyond some, I guess we could say, in the box thinking, or move beyond what you feel is safe. I feel like that's a good word, safety. So eclipses are always a big time for change. And we're already in the preview, the preview time for the great changes that we are going to be, hey Steph, that we are going to be experiencing together as a collective, especially those of us in the United States. I'm going to be really careful with some of my words here when I talk about some of those things, but one of the greatest things that, well, I don't want to say great, but one of the, how do we say, truths that are being revealed right now. And I don't know if this affects, I should know this. I actually should know this very well, but my mind escapes me right now. I don't know if this affects more than just the United States. I feel like it does, but in an attempt to not get banned or whatever, I'm going to just spell it out in a way that hopefully you guys can pick up what I'm putting down. So there's a very large corporation that is responsible for creating and selling a certain chemical product that gets rid of weeds. And not only does it kill weeds, but it is also used in the seeds and the farming and the, hello Darren, our food, as well as our water. What gets sprayed on the ground gets put into the water. So anyway, this large entity is now being sued by many because it's been proven to cause cancer. So these are just the things that the truths that are becoming more and more mainstream and known now. And as hard as it is to really see these hard truths, it is important that the general population of the world be exposed to the truth and know the truth deeply. So that's just a taste of the collective energy that is going through a great change. Individually, we are also being asked to pay attention to our routines and getting in our comfort, staying in our comfort zone a little bit too much, and break out of the mold, so to speak. It's been a very auspicious and challenging month, March has been. But as they say, you know, I don't even know what the saying is now, but it is important that we look at the bigger picture and see the potential for healthier, more enjoyable life experiences that we can have here on the planet. So, how are you guys doing? Hi, Darren. Hi, Steph. How are you doing? We don't want to use these cards. What are we doing here? I want to get a read on the energy, and this might end up being kind of a shorter live. I've been doing readings and sessions for a good part of the day, and so having it be the end of the day, I'm still very tapped in, but I want to be mindful of my energy. I've had quite the month myself with all the Pisces energy hitting my 6th house of my health, and I've been getting blow after blow of, you know, this virus and that virus and this injury and that injury. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did. And I randomly just did my hair last night. Doing good. There's been so many beautiful symbols that spirit is with us all. I can't even begin to tell you how many, not only sightings, but I can hear them, of owls. And I just did a session on someone who has very severe autism. I do tuning fork, like a frequency session on him, and he was seeing owls. So I'm like, all right, the owl energy is with me very strongly right now, and that's wisdom. The owl can see in the dark at night. And oh, good. Doing good, says Steph. Darren says good, thanks. Went for I don't know what that word is. Listening to music. Did a meditation at home, good, calm, look after your foot. You know, funny about the feet, because I think my broken toe is healing, but then I injured my other foot. So yeah, I think I started off February with the injuries. I don't know if Pisces had begun yet, probably just began. So not only with the injuries, but then getting like every little disease that's out there, and then my tooth. So it's been a fun month for me, I will say. All right, but let's get into a bit of a reading. What do we want to use here? Are we going with that? All right. But yeah, so the owls have been coming up very strongly. It's been very warm here where I live recently, so all of the flowers are beginning to bloom. There's a lot of pollen everywhere, so then allergies kicked in. And I'll tell you, I have not suffered from seasonal allergies for many years. I used to be a big-time sufferer of allergies, but this year, you know, if it's going to get me, it's getting me. All right. So there's some messages here. What can we... Oh, yes. Okay. Oh. Okay, this is a huge opportunity for many of us who have experienced, and it's quite the mainstream word now, and I understand it. Okay. Okay. Many of us who have experienced something pretty big in our lives. It was a very spiritual experience, yet also it may not have felt that way in the beginning. And most likely others were involved, or at least one other person involved. And the word I'm looking at here is gaslit. So whatever we experienced, whatever we went through, which was very, very real for us, whomever we were experiencing that with is telling us that didn't happen, or no, you're putting words into my mouth, or just that didn't happen. Basically making you feel like you're crazy. Well, and then that brings up the inner protector, which really that's what that's designed to do, is to show us our protective mechanisms, as well as trusting ourselves, trusting our truth and our discernment and how we experience things. Ultimately, it's our chance to be reborn into our true, authentic expression. There has been quite the time lapse that's gone by since having this original wounding, we'll call it, or awakening. I have a cold the last few weeks, and same, have not been sick in a few years. Yeah, isn't that wild? I consider myself a really healthy person, but not this year. This year has been anything but. If it's going around, it's coming for me. So we have a chance to be reborn, where this is a rebirth from that period. And I'm hearing from many, it's from 2017. Many have had this beginning stages of awakening, and it's gone from that. So the cycle from 2017 until this point. And if I reflect back, it actually makes a lot of sense, because 2017 was the last, what they would call the Great American Eclipse. It was the eclipse that we could see here in the United States. It had not just the eclipse, but whatever the eclipse energy opened up in my lifetime certainly put me in the path of where I'm at now. Although in the beginning, I did not know that that's what I was being redirected into. So energy cycle starting in 2017. And ironically, that was the last time that I had a problem with this tooth. And so that makes a lot of sense. So, okay. So for many, whether you're aware of it or not, but that was the beginning stages of a cycle of great change. Now we're coming back around. They're saying coming back around, this full pass, reborn again. Some may be in the infantile stages of this awakening, but most who can reflect back on yourself and your journey from 2017 to this point, you can see all of the stages of growth, maturity, and evolution. Sacrifice. We've had to sacrifice our old life and sacrifice a lot of other things that were actually not authentic to us. Personally, I sacrificed my career. I sacrificed my marriage and my home and everything that I had built for 20 some years. Yet it felt like I had no other choice. It felt right. And I now know, I have confirmation. I never really questioned it. I was able to see this is not for me anymore. This is not bringing me joy or happiness. This is not bringing me anything that feels good. It's bringing me a lot of struggle. It's bringing me a lot of exhaustion. And it was time to surrender. It was time to sacrifice that old life for a new life. stand your ground. It's important to stand in your truth and face ourselves as well. It's the inner protector that really keeps us from expanding and growing, because the inner protector wants to keep our vulnerable innocence of the inner child safe and protected. Yet we will never grow and evolve if we stay in the same ways of being over and over again. We must expand and grow. Or face the consequences of not doing so. Moving on. Base chakra. Balance. Another reason to stand your ground, especially if you're going through a spiritual awakening. This may not be the time to shout from the rooftops everything that you've experienced and that you know and what is going on with you, but to discern and find trusted people and a trusted platform to express yourself. I mean, you can go ahead and shout from the rooftop, but don't expect everybody to be on the same page or understand where you're coming from or what you're saying, because everyone has their own unique expression and journey and perspective and where they're at. So that's another sacrifice that sometimes we have to make. Relationships. When we're not in alignment with each other, when we're not seeing eye to eye, when we're not in flow together, confluence, there's an imbalance. And eventually the universe pulls the rug out from under us. If this is not a heart-centered connection of balance, and you know, that's the other thing about us humans is we don't want to just end things. We want to have hope that things are going to get better. And so we try all kinds of ways to change the other person or change ourselves, or going to therapy and doing all these things. And there's nothing wrong with that, but ultimately we must all face the truth of, is this serving me anymore? Is this serving the other person anymore? Is this what I want to experience any longer? Many will be moving on. Many are called to move on. See, he's holding a compass, feeling and sensing the direction in which to move, the direction where there's light and there's life. Things are alive. Moving from a place of stagnancy and even decay. There's that Pisces. First things must decay and die off, and then we move into the new. When we do this, there will be a period of time of feeling ungrounded, not safe, because it's the unknown. It's not what you're used to. But a lot of times what we're used to doesn't necessarily mean that it's for us anymore, that it's in balance. This Libra South Node eclipse is all about relationships. And not just relationships like intimate relationships, all relationships, including our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with the cosmos, with life, with our life. Are you in balance in your relationship? And how is your mind? Is your mind easily influenced? Or are you standing your ground in your truth, in what you know to be true for you? Now, these relationships can be work. They can be just with humanity. We've all gone through those of us who have gone through a great awakening have gone through a giant collective gaslighting, right? We're all taught to believe and think everything is this way, and that powers that be or powers that were have our best interests, when we come to find out, oh no, nobody has my best interest. I better have my own best interest. But we don't want to go into it completely selfish. In the beginning of awakening stage, yes, it is all about the self. But when you become more enlightened and aware of yourself and your effect in the world, and how we are all connected, truly connected, we take everyone's best interest at heart. There are times where we do that energetically, but to actually physically be involved with others who we're not in alignment with anymore will do more damage, more harm than good. Tell me about sacrifice. These sacrifices are no joke. 10 of Swords and the Empress. Before we actually sacrifice our old life, we have to come to recognize that we've been sacrificing our truth and our authenticity to keep things going when they're no longer in balance, when it is time to go, when it is time to make a move. It brings us to a space of complete and utter rock bottom. And yeah, you could feel like you're going crazy because nobody else seems to see what you see. But the truth is, have you been seeing how you've been treating yourself? Have you been nurturing yourself, loving yourself, tending to your needs? Have you put yourself out to be the sacrificial lamb in your situation? If so, no more. Stand your ground. Nine of Inspiration, 6 of Emotions. Stand your ground. Firm boundaries are necessary. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is important. Boundaries are necessary because what is happening is you're getting more in touch with your inner child. And universe wants you to bring that part of you out to play, to enjoy life. But you must have firm boundaries up to find your true essence, to stand in your truth. Whoever this reading is for has been really giving a lot of themselves away energetically. Even if you're no longer in the same proximity of the people or person that caused this energy or showed you how you were sacrificing yourself, their energy still stays within, and it may come back to haunt you in the mind. It's time to move on. It's time to move back into life and find your light, your vibrancy. You have an inner compass that directs you, and that's from the heart. Yeah. There's those thoughts. There's that energy from whoever has been gaslit. Those ideas, those thoughts, those beliefs about yourself and about others, negative, just continue to swirl around and around and around and revisit. There's something here that is a big lesson. It's a teacher. So as you're moving on into life, recognize that we always meet up with and connect to others who will reflect to us beliefs that we have about ourselves that may have been instilled in us at an early age. And then they reflect it back to us as if they're being cold or judgmental. And the truth is, yes, they are. But are you believing it? Do you believe it, or do you love yourself? Are you nurturing and compassionate towards yourself? Sometimes it's hard to listen to the stuff. I brought it to the last person. If people want to keep lying, that's their own business. Keep away from me. Three of Voices and the Tower. Overall, as things come into more balance energetically, there will be more deep realizations on the pain that's been carried and held inside and stored inside the cellular memory of the body. It revisits over and over again, no matter what you do. Just as the crows are swirling around her head. So in order to move on from being haunted by the past and whatever thoughts are causing this pain or resurfacing this pain, because the pain didn't go anywhere. Energy cannot be destroyed. It must be transmuted through the healing process, through the grief process, which truly is a process. And when you get to an area of forgiveness, forgiveness is for the self, so that, and it cannot be forced. But until we get to the point of forgiveness, so that we are not carrying with us the pain and the suffering of the past. Collectively, I see this. And I do understand what you're saying. When we are still carrying pain from the past in us, it is very easy to get triggered, and it is very difficult to hear these words. And sometimes you do have to give yourself a break from them until it comes back around to make more sense. It makes more sense when you get to that space. Life will take us energetically, emotionally, to many different experiences and understandings to get to a place of peace, inner peace. Three of Cups. There we go. Three of Cups. Trusted friends. Those that we can celebrate life with. That there's no expectation, but you know that everyone has each other's best interest at heart. Trusting. There's that Tower again. Oh my. The Lovers. Death and rebirth. Okay, so this message is just going in a circular motion. There's just a few more. Got to sacrifice our old life for the new life that we desire, that we've incarnated here at this time to experience. Yes, we've gone through deep pain. We've made many sacrifices. It's important to make sure that we are loving and nurturing to ourselves through that. That we have healthy boundaries. And we open our inner child and our vulnerable spaces up for healing. King of Cups. Having compassion and love in our hearts. And then we have the Tower and the Lovers. I feel like over the next few weeks, especially in between the two eclipses, there's going to be another giant point of reveal or revelation. Just as I was saying about that company here in the United States. I wish I could say the names, but I don't want to get banned. About that corporation that has been poisoning us. That truth is coming out. Many people were already aware of it long before they needed the truth to come out, but the truth to come out to public awareness. There's another truth or realization that's going to come towering down. And I think that we all have loose ends, incomplete experiences, and it does make it difficult to move on from situations when there's no so-called closure. But there's a reason for that. And the reason is for us to go on our own personal journey to learn and understand who we truly are and why we've had all the experiences that we've had in life, who we thought we were, who we were taught to be, and who we truly are as a spirit in a human body, having a human experience. We have death and we have rebirth that fell below, moving on. And of course, we have reborn. So this is a great time of change, big change. This isn't just like, I didn't change my hair color. This is big change. But it comes with a cost, and that cost is having to feel all the emotions that are still stuck in the emotional body that may have been hidden way below the surface. And only during this time of the full moon does it start to creep back up. The moon is also our subconscious, is also linked to our intuition, which is deeply connected to our emotional body. But overall, all in all, we are moving towards our true legacy, our point of feeling more comfortable in our own skin, loyal to ourselves, loyal to our path, loyal to the life that we signed up to actually experience and grow into and learn from. I understand what you, Darren, the forgiveness will come organically, naturally. Like, that's why I say premature forgiveness is just bullshit. And it makes no sense. If it doesn't make sense emotionally or logically, then it's just not time. It's not time. And that's a very normal human experience to be angry. And no, it's not funny. I know exactly what you're talking about. The only thing I can say is that there are other perspectives. It's so hard to put into words, but when you experience it, you'll know. We can go deeper into that at another time. But ultimately, this reading is telling me, it's confirming to me what has been coming through in many of the messages that I've been giving lately through personal reads, is that there's a great big change that's happening. It's almost the closing of a cycle from 2017 for many. For others, I just keep getting 2017. I'm not really sure why, other than the eclipse, that eclipse point. And I'm sure that there's other reasons for it. Let's get one last message for us all. And my energy is starting to go plummet. We're going to get a final message from the Oracle of the Seven Energies. Anger can be used. If we use anger as a springboard to moving on, because that energy is very highly charged, it's helpful. But then when you move on, if you're still carrying anger with you, then that's the energy that weighs you down. Well, it's not in here. That can weigh you down or really mess with the mind a lot. And truly, the only reason to be angry would be that you actually care. You care. And there's nothing wrong with that. But these cards are saying to put all of that care and that attention onto your heart and to you. No longer sacrificing your energy to these other energies that can really let it go, that can really wreak havoc emotionally, mentally, energetically, physically. So we've got moving on, we've got let it go. And I understand how hard that is to hear sometimes, especially for somebody who wants to let go. Want to move on and let something go, yet it's still stuck. It's like sticky energy. It sticks to you. That's because there are deeper layers to it. And that's where the journey of the seeker opens up. What are these deeper layers? How do I get out of this sticky energy? Questions like that self-inquiry that begins this journey of self-discovery and self-understanding, self-mastery. Eventually. All right, final message. Let it go. There are times in life when you must forgive, lest you become a hostage to your anger, frustration, disappointments, and resentments. This is not about condoning bad behavior or minimizing a hurt done to you. Forgiveness is simply a commitment to stop telling an old story so you don't carry its burdens anymore. If you don't forgive, old hurts fester and become distorted, causing you pain over and over again. You become trapped in a prison of your own making, tied to the story that you were a victim. It's time to cut the invisible cords attaching you to the situation, preventing you from moving forward. The truth is, you are victimizing yourself every time you recreate the unresolved hurt in your mind or speak of it with friends. Rather than allow this folly to repeat, surrender the situation to your higher power. Now is the time for radical forgiveness. Say no to drama in all forms and forgive yourself and others for engaging in it. Consider the ancient Hawaiian practice known as ho'oponopono. The simple prayer is a beautiful way to begin the process of forgiveness. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It's based on the idea that we are all responsible for the reality we see in the world. If something is awry, whether it's your perception, your emotional reactions, your judgment, and so forth, it's up to you to clean it up. Forgiveness is the key to a liberated and meaningful life. No matter what method you choose, just do it. Now, I do understand this. I still stand true to the fact that we cannot prematurely forgive or force the forgiveness because we want to move out of an energy or a feeling or trying to move out of stuck energy within us. We have to go deep into it and really, really examine it deeper in order to open up the healing process, which then liberates us from carrying the pain from the past. And it's easier said than done, but I am living proof that it works, especially when you allow it, when you work with it, and you get really curious. Why is this still with me? Why do I carry this with me? Why can't I get rid of this energy, this person's energy, the words, the actions? I want to be free. I want to be liberated. And that alone, it puts you into this prison cell until you're ready to break free from it. And that begins the hero's journey of the, why am I at a loss for words right now? The hero's journey. It begins the quest for understanding and for truth. So that's what I have for us all right now. I will tap in again as we get closer to, we have the equinox coming up next week. Aries season begins. This is an exciting breaking point into new energy as well. So between that and the next eclipse, the full moon in Libra, I will not be doing a live. Oh no, I will, because okay, never mind. Maybe I'll do a live on Friday. I have a support group that I'm holding on the 25th. So any of you who do live here in Chester County, PA, and you're on my Facebook page or Instagram page, check it out. Solace Farms Day Retreat Center, doing our second empath support group, and it's been an amazing experience, and there's so many amazing souls that are joining in and sharing our stories with each other, and it is a beautiful way to connect. So I invite you all, any of you who are in the area, to come by. It is on Monday the 25th from 6:30 p.m. to 8. So that's all I have for now. I hope that you guys are all doing well. Have a beautiful night or day, wherever it is in your neck of the woods. And I'm sending you all out so much love. Take care. Bye. You have a lovely weekend too. Thank you.